So the Outstone Heritage event gave us 3 World War II weapons. We had the M1 Garand, the Luger pistol, and we had the MP40 submachine gun. And the first thing that popped into my head when I got these weapons, because they are quite good for 3 weapons. The M1 Garand being like an M308, the Luger pistol being even better in my opinion than the actual Desert Eagle, and the MP40 being like better than the likes in the Swedish case of machine gun. Yeah, the first thing that popped into my head was, are these guns actually good for 1 down, and can I make a good build out of it? And out of the 3 weapons, obviously you can't have 3 weapons, so I decided to use 2 builds for this example. I made 2 builds for both the M1 Garand Luger combo and the M1 Garand and MP40 combo, and just to kind of compare the two and see which one I preferred. Both builds do have ups and downsides, and I will be concluding my favorite one at the end out of the 2 builds. And I'll be putting the links to the builds in the description if you guys wanted to try them out. Keep a note as well, guys, as I am the highest level, so you guys might not have access to all the skill points. If you don't, just sacrifice one skill for another. It's not that difficult. Just pick whatever other skills you prefer over the other. And yeah, let's get right into the build, and then I'll show you guys some gameplay after that, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. To kick it off in Mastermind, we are going to build our way up until Inspire. We're bringing 2 doctor bags instead of first aid kits, because this one's going to be more orientated around your team, and this one's going to be more for when you are stationary. So for example, if this is bank heist and you're defending the vault, or if this build would be for just any heist where you are stuck in one place and not really running around as much, but still dodging and weaving enemies if you can. So sharpshooter, we got high priority target and aggressive reload. These two, mind you, every 2 headshots you get increases your reload speed magnificently. High priority target, every time you tag a special enemy, it will do more damage to them. So that's always quite nice to have. Moving straight on to Ghost, we are going to go duck and cover and build up until we just get Sneaky Bastard. We don't need an ace. We don't need an ace for this one, since we get up to a 60 concealment or 60 dodge without Sneaky Bastard ace. We have Dire Need there as well for, or you can go shot proof. Actually, you can go either one. I prefer Dying Need to shot proof really, because for me it doesn't work most of the time, but I did put it on my other build just to see the difference, and I didn't really see much difference. So yeah, I would go with Dire Need, but it's completely up to you with those skills. And for Silent Killer, I built up to a low blow, and just make sure that I have low blow ace, because when you have an ace, you gain 3% critical hit chance for every 1 point detection rate under 35. So I have a pretty high chance of crits, and when you have crits with the Luger pistol and the M1 Garand with such high damage, it is incredible, and especially in my second build too. But we're going to focus on this first build. The final this bunch of skills are in Fugitive. So we have all the pistol skills that give us some extra damage, like Trigger Happy, but also we have Swan Song, which is going to be a massive factor, a massive factor in this build. So yeah, I'm going to quickly show you guys some gameplay with this, and I'm moving on to the second build. So this is part of the video where I show you guys some gameplay, and I actually go over the builds and or the build even. I'm going to move on to the second build later, but I'm going to be telling you guys about my ups and downs about each build. So start with the first one. It's quite effective, very effective. I'm just doing some 1 down gameplay, just solo, just kind of demonstrating how it is solo really. Obviously when you're working with a team as well, it's a lot better, but yeah, I just thought I'd just show you guys some gameplay with the build and see how the weapons are effective against these enemies. They hold up quite well. The only downside is the M1 Garand magazine size. However, you can change that if you have Surefire, which is a skill in the Technician tree. Now, with this skill, what it allows you to do is it will increase the magazine size by 15, and you can have up to 23 shots, which is completely unrealistic, but it's Payday 2, which obviously the M1 Garand in real life obviously only holds 8 bullets with the casing, so it's quite crazy to have 23 shots, which is especially good for my second build, which is more damage orientated. It does a lot more damage on my second build, but this one is good too because it demonstrates the Luger pistol better. I tend to use the Luger pistol a lot in this, and I got up to, what was it, 204 damage with the Luger pistol. If it's just a pistol build and you dump everything into all your pistol skills like one-handed, talent, and trigger happy, the Luger pistol destroys people, and it is definitely a one-down contender weapon, most certainly. And it's crazy. It's fun to use. It's very satisfying to get a kill with. It's cool to spam with it, especially when you have a fast reload speed, and if you have the pistol skill like Gun Nut to increase the fire rate with the Luger pistol. It really does help you, especially against bulldozers. And if you have Swan Song with this build as well, it's so much fun. You want to go down. You just want to just run out and just spray with it. It's incredible. I was using some Biker Heist 1 down with some randomers, and using Swan Song was so effective. It was so effective. So it's a very viable build for 1 down, and it is very good for 1 down, surprisingly, seeing as that the M1 Garand and the Luger are very, like, they're such powerful weapons. However, the MP40 is not as powerful as I thought it would be, so obviously I want to talk about that in the next build. But yeah, this is the first build. It's very effective and it's good for all kinds of situations. Good for damage. It's kind of got like jack of all trades really. But the dodge is at 60. The Swan Song is your main aspect with this. Obviously, I would rather bring med kits since it is 1 down, not really first aid kits. You can bring first aid kits if you're in a team of 4 and you've got plenty of meds, which is all good. Yeah, we're going to move on to the second build now. I'm just going to quickly go over the second build for you guys. So, for the second World War II build, a lot of things are the same. A lot of things to do with the M1 Garand are the same. You've got your high value target, and you've got your aggressive reload. That's all good. You've got Inspire as well with Doc's Bags. That's fine. All of that is fine. Nothing much has changed in that department. However, if you go to Technician, we obviously are focusing more on the MP40 because we're using the MP40 for this build. So that is obviously the submachine gun perks we have to put our stuff into. And what's also good is that the SMG perks like Surefire and the hip firing perks are added to the assault rifle. So obviously the M1 Garand is an assault rifle, so you can use that to your advantage. And also, like I said before, with Surefire, you could put the magazine up to 23, which is ridiculously powerful, ridiculously good. And yeah, it's super cool to use it, most certainly. And with Silent Killer 2, I've also changed it so it has we have crit hit chance, and we also have Silent Killer. The reason I didn't have Silent Killer in the first build was because the Luger pistol sadly doesn't have a suppressor variant for it. However, the M1 Garand does. So obviously with the MP40, that also has a suppressor. So I thought it would be better to just have no suppressors with the Luger build, but have the suppressors on with the M1 Garand MP40 build. And I'll show you in the gameplay example later on that it's pretty good. It's pretty viable. Very viable. And it's a good option. The thing I had to sacrifice though was Swan Song. You don't have a Swan Song this time around, unless obviously you wanted to sacrifice some perks here and there for Swan Song, which is completely up to you. But yeah, that is pretty much all that's changed this build. I've switched from the pistol skills to the submachine gun like Surefire and all those skills there. So yeah, we're going to once again show you guys some gameplay, and I'm going to talk over it, but I'm also going to leave some space for me to let you just watch the gameplay as well. So yeah guys, see you guys in the gameplay. So this is the second build, guys. This is the one with Silent Killer. You can see I'm tearing through them a lot easier, and in terms of damage it is a lot better than the first build. But unfortunately, the MP40 doesn't really hold its own. It's not really a great one-down weapon. It's okay. I mean, if you have to be lucky with crit hit, basically. If you have good crit hit with it, and you're spraying at a bulldozer, then you're okay, and you might take it out. But it's a lot better just to use the M1 Garand most of this build, which is really funny. But yeah, the MP40 is just more like your secondary to take out some cops here and there. But most of the time, I was just using the M1 Garand, and that's what you're going to be getting with this build. So if you guys are more fan of the Luger, use the first build. But if you do like the M1 Garand and you really want to see its full potential, you really want to see that high damage, use this build. Most certainly, use this build. It is a monstrous build. It just destroys them. It really does. But however, you must be careful. You do not have Swan Song. Unless you wanted to just not use Surefire or, you know, sacrifice some stuff and put Swan Song on, you can do that. You have the option to do that. But for this build specifically, I was trying to make the MP40 good and trying to give it a bit of a chance. But I don't see that happening. So, yeah, this build is great for showing off the M1 Garand. And it's just having Silent Killer with the M1 Garand is great. But having crit hit with it as well is even better. And it makes it even more of a monster. So yeah, guys, those were the two builds. I wanted to show this to you guys. If you guys have any suggestions for me, leave them in the comments below. If you guys have tried this build out, let me know what you think. If there's anything that you would change to the build, put it in the comments below. Let's start a discussion, most certainly. So yeah, guys, that is the video for today. I do hope you enjoy these more informative build videos. I'll put more out in the future. I got some more updates for the channel to come as well, so I'll be doing a video on that very soon. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, and goodbye.
Jason kill the game, yeah, battle write a brand new wave, Wait when I watch your mouth before I pop off in the campgrounds, Jason will